Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest and greatest episode of East Meets West, Volume 2, ladies and gentlemen, Episode 2. Excuse me personally for being the reason why we've been 2 weeks away. Life's been lifing, but I want to introduce the superstar,
I
Mr.
know about that.
Conrado. Yeah, it's the truth. Oh, let me point the right way for the YouTube. It's the damn truth. Mr. Conrado Pascual.
Great to be back. Great to be
Yes.
back.
And your boy MJ Tolliver, opinionated MJ. Can't even get my own name right.
The one and only. The one and only. Look at
Yeah,
that.
yeah, he's talking about himself. How you feeling today, Connor? How you feeling?
Not too bad. Not too bad. The weather has still been bipolar out here in the Bay Area. It was, like high 80s one day, late last week. Then the very next day, it was like in the 50s and raining.
Oh
But
no.
everything's are on the back on the up and up. Back in the 80s, sun, not a cloud in the sky. So
Yeah.
at least can't complain too much about that. And you know, as you said, while life is lifing for us, the
Yeah.
NBA continues. And since we've
Yes,
been gone,
indeed.
the first round is all complete. It's all complete. So we started the playoffs with the real playoffs, not the play-in, right?
Right.
Not like my loser Warriors in the play-in this year,
Right.
right? Playoffs, we started with 16 teams. Now we're down to 8. And
Mhm.
I believe it was what was it? It's Isaac Newton, right? Isaac Newton, his third law, right? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So,
Yes.
right, the first round, what was the action? It's the end result. The winners, the losers. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna give some reactions. Okay.
Amen. Hey, I
So
I love that.
so yeah, we got 8 teams, 8 teams that some fought harder than others. I don't want to question, desire, competitiveness, but I think we all saw what we saw. And there'll be plenty of time to talk about the winners because they're still playing, they're still
Right.
competing, they're still there. They got the eye on the prize. But for those 8 teams that got sent to Cancun, right? It's time, let's pour one out for them. I have work tomorrow, so this is water. If we were recording on a Friday or a Saturday, trust me, it would be something a lot harder. But yeah, Michael, why don't we go down? Why don't we kind of have a send off, kind of a recap slash send off of some of these teams that were defeated in the playoffs. So I guess we can start in the West, right?
Okay, let
The
me.
Young Buck OK Thunder, they more than
Yeah.
handled the New Orleans
Yeah.
Pelicans. The Pelicans were swept, and with the
Yes.
exception of Game 1, where well, I mean, I'm no stranger to it. I've seen him do it in person. CJ McCollum, playoff choker, that was the only competitive game. The rest were a blowout. So,
Yeah. Easily.
Michael, do you have what is your reaction to the Pelicans
My
being eliminated?
reaction. Um, that I wish. Who was it that they drafted? Kira Lewis.
This year or in the
It
past?
was like a year or so ago. Um,
Dyson Daniels.
and they also had Nikhil Alexander Walker before they moved him. You know what I mean?
Yes. And they are now in
Um,
Minnesota.
exactly. And showing up on defense, showing up a little bit on offense, making timely threes that's helping devastate. I just wish they would have, considering that they kind of tr- like shuffled everything around Zion and had things coming in. Okay, we'll let this or him. I'll say him and Brandon in. Like CJ McCollum wasn't there on the inception, so considering that they had that going on and they knew that CJ McCollum wasn't a point guard, that they should have retained some type of point guard and let him go ahead and deal with like the learning process of what it is to be a point guard. You know what I mean? And just deal with the results because eventually they'll come along, especially with the pressure of, oh, we got to win now, and oh, Zion's here, and oh, we got to like, because look at him now in Minnesota. Like Minnesota gets criticized, and he's over there like really doing something now. Like in order to have purpose, you got to build purpose. You don't just have it. You know what I mean? Like you can say, "Oh, my purpose is this in life," but if it's not actually something on your plate, how do you know how to eat it? How do you know, oh, I can only stomach this much of it, or I can eat this whole plate, or I can, or what's on my plate? You know, if you don't know what's on your plate, what do you know that you got to take care of? So, I think that they haven't given their roster a chance to have a point guard over there. They just put it all on CJ McCollum, and then when CJ wasn't able to show up, who's been pushing point guard this year? Zion Williamson. So Zion goes out, your whole offense dies. You know what I mean? And I wish that they gave somebody else a opportunity to be the point guard over there. So my overreaction is maybe go ahead and trade CJ, and while he has, I mean, while he got some value, you like could send him
Hmm.
to the Lakers. Like, here, give us D'Angelo Russell. Let's see how that goes. Just to have somebody that could ball handle, make big threes. Um, I mean, wouldn't he be more of a threat? I mean, maybe not from mid range because CJ is almost surgical when he wants to be from mid range, but
Yeah.
like, or go throw some money at Russell Westbrook and let him and Zion run up and down crazy down the, you know what I mean? Just to and
Yeah.
keep CJ with Russ with like that's my overreaction for sure. Or was I supposed to react first?
No, that's fine. That's fine
Yeah.
because I am going to overreact to your overreaction. I think you're
Okay.
being too easy on them. I think you're being too.
Oh, I'm
I
being too easy.
I'm not even a hot take artist. It's just
Okay.
how many. What's the goal? I mean, and we talked about that in our last episode. You know, internally, sometimes
Yeah.
front offices will never admit, but I mean, like, of course, everyone wants to win a championship, but I think some like kind of accept that they're not going to. So, what's your goal?
Right.
Make the playoffs, make the second round. You know, try
Right.
to get that. You know, the gate money. You know, but if you're really trying to win a championship, you're not going to do it with CJ. Definitely not as a lead guard.
No.
Not even.
No.
I mean, at this I
Not
don't
as
know.
the
I've
secondary
never been a
guard.
big fan of him. I admit I'm biased there, but that's not the root of it. I think my overreaction from watching that thing was
Oh, about to go in.
they got to trade Ingram. They got to trade Ingram. They got to trade Ingram. I've seen
Okay.
enough. Like I mean enough in the sense that like he's being stifled there. I think there's a certain amount of handcuffs, right? In the sense
Wow.
that like you say they need a point guard who can take over when Zion isn't facilitating. And before Zion was ever drafted there, that was Ingram,
Yeah.
right? He was on track to be like, you know, they say baby Durant because like it's not just the physical build. He has the ball handling, the playmaking skills similar to a young Durant.
Yeah.
That's gone away. Now you take Zion out, you know, and obviously Ingram came back from injury for the playoffs, but I mean, you know, there's no rhythm, there's no
Yeah.
consistency, you know. And frankly, I question whether or not he and Zion can really coexist, you know.
I mean,
And
you
frankly, if I'm Ingram, I would welcome a trade. I mean, do I really want to tie my prime years to a guy who cannot stay on the court? And I'll give
right.
Zion credit. You know, he seemed to have put more focus and attention to detail with regards to his conditioning. But
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. You
Right.
know, like I know players don't like the tag, the label of being injury prone. I get it because that could affect your money. You know, affects
Right.
perception, it affects your money. But I mean, dude, whether it's like some kind of weird freak accident, you keep getting injured, so you're injury prone. You know, it is
Randomly.
what it is.
He was
So
dominating and got hurt.
I think I'm not really sure that they have a core. They don't have a core because I don't think they don't know who they could really rely on. So that would be
Not even
my
Valachunas.
overreaction. But something tells me what we're going to see with all these rumors about Ingram potentially available for trade. Our overreaction may not be very Detroit basketball.
Send them, please, please. Like, yeah, I send them. Never mind. Go ahead.
no,
That's gonna be heartbreaking. Go ahead. Go for it. Keep
no. So
going.
I mean, I think, yeah, I think it's a reaction. That's my reaction, but I think it can also be construed or as an overreaction.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I'm David Griffin, this season and this postseason, with regards to this current team,
Yeah.
leaves me with more questions than answers. You can't run that back. You can't run that back.
Not even Valanciunas?
Actually, I think the funny thing is, and we'll get to that, I think the key to getting that team right is he might have to be on the move. I think he's one of their better trade chips.
Wow. Wow. So you're blowing. So everything has to go except Zion.
If they're choosing, if they're adamant that Zion is their future, then yes.
And if they're not, if
Otherwise, you're a
they,
first round, even healthy, right? We
yeah,
assumed Zion was going to be available for the playoffs, and we still picked the Thunder. Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't know what could have happened, but still, I mean, that was our mindset. That's how we viewed the team. You're a
yeah,
first round exit, basically.
yeah.
There's no way that's what I doubt. That's
Wow.
not what David Griffin is trying to do. I know that's not what he's trying to do.
Wow.
So
Uh,
moving on,
I don't
right?
even know what to say about that. That's a great one. Okay. That yeah.
Moving
Let's
on. And
let's
as we
move.
record this on May 8th,
Yes.
the Denver Nuggets, they as well, you predicted a sweep. I was a little nicer to them. I
Did I?
predicted a gentleman's sweep. So, dude,
Uh, against
Denver
Denver
handled
or the
their business.
Lakers? Oh, the
No,
Lakers.
Denver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, damn.
So the Lakers ultimately fell in 5 games,
Okay.
and again, second consecutive year losing to the Denver Nuggets. And even though the Denver Nuggets are currently, as of this recording, having a little problems against the Minnesota Timberwolves,
Mhm.
still, let's say adios, to the Los Angeles Lakers, right? I'm not really sure how they would pronounce that in Cancun, but right, they're
Yeah.
there with they can join KD, Steph, all of them, right? The
Right.
old Vanguard is essentially eliminated from the playoffs. So, Michael, do you have any reactions? Or actually, you know what? Can I give you my reaction?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll give you my reaction. Anthony Davis has proven that he is capable of being the man. I do believe that. He ended up, when all said and done, because I was beating the drum. Well, I had Bam Adebayo as my Defensive Player of the Year, candidate, or who I had
AD
AD.
didn't agree. He didn't agree with
AD
that.
didn't agree, but he ended up coming fourth. He ended up finishing fourth in voting.
Mm.
So all I'm saying is he's definitely one of the most dominant two-way forces in the league. Still showing that he is worthy of having a team built around him. There is a future for the Los Angeles Lakers as long as AD is there and healthy. That is just my simple reaction. Do you have one of your own, or perhaps an
I have an
overreaction?
overreaction.
You
I
have an
do have an
overreaction. What
overreaction.
is it?
I do. Okay. So LeBron is not on this roster. My first question is, let's say this entire roster comes back exactly the way it is, minus LeBron James. What's their record next year? Are they in the playoffs or even the play-in?
I mean, right? We'd be hard to press to say that they are a top 6 team if the two of them this year were not
Were
capable of being a top 6 team. I mean,
okay.
you would like to think that they would replace LeBron with someone, but we don't know. So I would say no. I'd still say maybe they're better than. No, I still say yeah. They're on the outside looking in. At best, they're 6. At best, that's their
Okay.
ceiling. That's their ceiling. No,
Okay.
that's their
So my
ceiling. I'm not even saying I believe that. That's their ceiling.
my overreaction is, and this is with me. Okay. Okay. So let me preface it this way. Are there 2 or 3 players in the draft that are team leaders and or game changers for you?
Not even one.
Damn. Damn. Okay. So my
I don't know.
overreaction, my my
They're 1
overre
year too early. right? The projected
Yeah.
number one pick of the 2025 draft is Cooper Flag,
Oh
right?
yeah, I know about Cooper.
Yeah,
I
right,
do know about
right.
Cooper.
And we will talk more about high school hoops, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't like to compare prospects, especially prep prospects, high school
Yeah.
prospects, to
Yeah.
NBA legends.
Right.
Cooper Flag is often compared to Kevin Garnett, and I gotta admit, man, when you see him,
Garnett. I've thought different of him. I've seen him.
okay, I mean, I see a lot of this, like the way he moves. He
Okay.
really does. Like he has the grace, but then the power of Garnett. Like I don't.
Okay. Okay. I think
I'm
he's
just
more
saying.
athletic. I've kind of thought of him as more athletic than Garnett. Like,
That's even better. A more
yeah,
athletic Garnett.
yeah,
See, that's a guy that's worth tanking for.
yeah. I mean, and then some of my thoughts of Garnett are like late Minnesota, late Boston, but I know what young Garnett was, but the Cooper Flag will probably have a better impact in coming into this league than Garnett had coming in as a high schooler. Because
The
didn't
little
he come from
ticket.
high school? Yeah, yeah, the little ticket. Like, cause he came from high
Yeah,
school, didn't
yeah,
he?
yeah. KG came straight out of high school.
Yeah, so yeah, like he's gonna have more like everything under him, discipline and understanding of the game, uh, just having to match the skill level of the game and everything now, the athleticism, and just what he looks like right now. You know what I mean? He looks better than a rookie Garnett. So, um,
Well, having said that,
I
there's
like that.
no one like that in this upcoming draft.
Right. So I
So
guess my overreaction is kind of toned down a little bit, but I'll come up with a different one because my overreaction was going to
fine.
be if there are two or three players that are real prominent in this draft that you think can come change the game, even like a Palo Banquero, or that's somebody that's maybe 4 years away from being where they need to be, like a maybe an Evan Mobley or who are we starting to see like really flourish now? I mean, I would say SGA, but I mean,
Sengun?
I get SGA or Shingun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, do you see anyone in that breath?
No.
Oh, well, damn, nah. I can't all the way
Okay,
overreact because I
I
would
mean, like
say
they're
I'll give my
way
overreaction still though.
okay. Go ahead.
No, I want to hear what you had to say though, but I'm gonna get that
Oh
overreaction.
no, I
It,
mean, like, there'll be plenty of time for draft talk, in my opinion, and we could even, when you guys find us, when you're not seeing us here, right? Join
yeah,
us, everybody, listeners, on the Box Score podcast, right?
yeah,
Or one of our colleagues, Nick Thomas, he covers the draft as well. I don't believe there's a game changer in
okay,
this draft. Not me personally, I don't believe there's one single game changer. There are a lot of guys that project as like maybe at best high end starters. That's it.
yeah,
Like that's it. Like, which
okay,
is not a bad thing, but like no, there's no one that's gonna. There's definitely no Wemby. There's no Zion. There's no Paolo, like you said.
yeah.
I don't
No
see it.
John Morant, no.
No,
No Jalen Duran.
no.
Okay. Well, okay. So my initial overreaction was going to be trade LeBron, trade AD to the one of the top two or five teams, because I know the first pick wouldn't give theirs up. Try to send them both. That was my initial overreaction. But now my overreaction is either go ahead, let LeBron walk, kind of let the whole roster reshuffle itself. Decide if you're going to keep Anthony Davis. If you're not, then try to sign and trade LeBron somewhere. Trade Anthony Davis somewhere and just start over. Get you some picks, get you some assets, more so for future picks. Um, and just rebuild. Like, I mean, I know LA is one of those, oh, we need the money, come bring the money to Staples, crypto, because we got to pay our players. We want to make sure we're uh you know going over breaking even as a team, and we don't want to be one of those teams that's under and getting the money from the luxury tax teams, and everybody's looking at Jeannie Buss like sell the team, like, because if I own the Lakers, I'm not selling the team, it's the Lakers, shut up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this is my riches at the end of the day. And um, but as far as competing for a championship, or beginning the process to get back to competing for a championship, Even the Boston Celtics had to trade KG, Ray Allen, and Paul
Yeah.
Pierce. So, and look how quickly they got back. And so, do you jump the gun that quick, even though we don't see that necessarily in this draft? You know what I mean? We don't see a Jason Tatum. We don't see a Jalen Brown. We don't see those things. So, do you try to retain them for another year, or do you just move forward now, grab assets or picks from the next year for the teams that's projected to be kind of low, and maybe send out some deals to teams for some of your own picks back? You know what I mean? Because if you're gonna be low, if you are intending to kind of tank without telling Adam Silver, yeah, you know we're tanking, right? Oh, okay. And just kind of, dip off, but then send your assets, the rest of your assets out as teams may want them, the D'Angelo Russells of the world and whoever else might be under a contract. I don't know if he's player option or not. He might be flippable. But yeah, I would begin to retool because like you said, if they're where they are at now, if they're a playing team, then where the hell are they gonna be next year? They're not getting Kyrie Irving. You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
Like,
I'd have to believe, right, that Houston, just in theory, like Houston could be significantly better. Memphis is going to be significantly better,
yeah,
right? They're all going to come back from injury. So
yep.
yeah, I mean,
Damn.
the thing is it an overreaction if I feel the same way 100%? That would be
No,
my overreaction too.
I
I
mean,
think no, no. What I'm trying to say is I'm with you. I'm with you. I think um it's not just trading one of the two. I think they should trade both. They should
yeah.
trade both. There are up and coming teams with a treasure trove of assets. OKC, right, has like
Hmm.
how many picks over the next decade? The Knicks have several picks over the next decade. Let them have their time, right? And just
Hmm.
try to get those picks, first round, like
Oh,
unprotected out into like 2033. I know it sounds funny, but no, go for the long game, and who knows, they still even have access to their own picks, the Lakers, right?
Anthony Davis to the Knicks
I'm just
or
saying, right? There's
LeBron
plenty of
James
time.
as a
There's
free
plenty of time
agent
to
to the
do
Knicks?
the trade machine. There's plenty of time to do the trade machine, but I'm with you.
Yeah,
We don't need to come up with hypothetical scenarios,
yeah.
right? A la Bill Simmons, but I think,
Did he do one? I didn't
I mean, he
listen to
does
the
all the
pod
time,
today.
right?
I didn't
No,
listen to
all I'm
the.
saying is,
Okay,
I
I'll
feel
I'll
like,
intend to.
to me at this point, I don't see the path. I don't see a path for the Lakers. Or let me correct that. They could move some mountains to bring in a third star, but still, like, the shelf life of that team is like very limited. We're talking about
One
like
year.
one seat. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And I don't know, right? I mean, like, I want to make it clear, like, NBA, especially, I think Warrior fans too kind of get spoiled, right? Winning just one title is so hard. It's so hard, right? So I can understand you want to push all your chips in and win that one title. I respect it. It's just, hey, everything's a risk. Anything in life is a risk. It's just,
Right. That's true.
are you really giving yourself, like, you could move those mountains, but is there something on the other side that actually gives you reason to believe you're closer to your goal? And I'm not so sure. I'm not sure for the Lakers. Like, not immediately, at least, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. Those it's funny. I think some of these overreactions, some of them will come to fruition. Will come to
Yeah.
fruition.
Yeah. They
So
they will.
speaking of reactions and overreactions,
Uh-oh.
um, one of the epic disappointments of this entire season, the Phoenix Suns.
Oh
The Phoenix.
God. Yeah.
So I'll take the lead here.
Oh yeah, because my overreaction is an overreaction.
Okay, I want to hear it because mine is, and I think you saw, I tweeted a little bit about this as the Suns were walking the plank. Chris Paul is in Golden State, at least for the time being. Monty Williams is in Detroit. DeAndre Ayton is in Portland. Who
Right.
else are you going to keep blaming? Who usually right? Who has been the common factor?
Bridges
Who
is
has
in
been the
Brooklyn.
There you go. Thank you very much. That's right.
With who else? Was it Cam Thomas that they had?
No,
Or was it
campaign. I
no,
mean,
they
I don't.
had another they had
Regardless.
who was off the bench for them?
Oh, that's right. They gave up 2 wings.
Yes.
Oh, gosh. I don't
That
remember
Monty was
anymore.
talking about he was crying about. It was Bridges and it was it Cameron Johnson
Cam
or
Johnson. There you go.
Cam
Yeah.
Johnson?
Yes.
Why the hell would you give okay, let's keep
But
going.
again, that's in the past.
Yeah, it
That's in the
is. That's why
past.
it's no need.
So I'm just saying, right? Like, what is the common factor? You keep hitting a brick wall every season. All right. I believe
Hmm.
it's right. Mr. I don't believe in double teams during pickup games, right?
Yeah,
I think
yep.
it's Devin
Devin
Booker,
Booker.
right?
Oh,
How many other guys are
oh,
you going to chase out of town? You could trade KD, as everyone's saying in the media. You
yeah,
trade KD because you probably get the most for him, right?
right.
Bradley Beal is well, that would be my second reaction. Bradley Beal is without a doubt the absolute worst trade in recent history. The absolute. They can't even trade him. His no trade clause comes with him. Mm-hmm.
I'd try to send him to the Lakers then. Like, you want to go play with LeBron, don't you? Yeah. Just give us D'Angelo Russell back.
Maybe. All I'm saying though is there's only so many people, right? It sounds like it's going to be Frank Vogel next.
Yeah,
There's only so many people you can keep scapegoating, right?
yeah,
The thing
yeah,
is that players with the amount of money that they make, right? That money's all guaranteed.
yeah.
You don't fire players. You can
Right,
fire coaches. You can
right,
fire executives,
right.
you know, and the veterans are more expendable. Now, does that mean Devin Booker's a bad guy or a bad teammate? No, I don't know. I don't know the guy that well. But
Right.
it seems like team building around him isn't as easy as I think was once thought. You know,
That's true.
sometimes
That's
bad
true.
habits from his early years tend to resurface, right, at crucial
Hmm.
times.
Hmm.
So that is my reaction. That's my reaction. What is your overreaction?
My overreaction is blow it up because I mean,
Yeah, you got to take
serious.
a torch to like every team that got
I
eliminated.
mean, the teams that are built like that with like a Bradley Beal with a horrible contract, Kevin Durant, who is actually still good, but you need competency around him. You need an offense to bring out the best of him. We've seen it in Golden State. We haven't seen it anywhere else. We scapegoated Russ when it was like, oh, well, Russ, just give KD the ball. He's the one that's going to shoot the last couple of shots. When KD was the one that needed to take the shots, KD, I'm not going at you. Don't tweet at us or nothing like that. Not maliciously. But sometimes the
You could
defenses
follow
might
us
have
at
been.
EMW_pod, KD.
Yeah, because we actually love you, even though you said about my little precious Detroit. Oh, it's just Detroit. Yeah,
I got
come
my
to just
Warriors Kevin
Detroit.
Durant jersey in the mall or in the mall in the closet right now, dude. So,
Yeah, like just come to Detroit. I'll take him here, but like he needs a offense curated more so to exploit the good in his game as opposed to make him have to work and do a half of a Draymond Green role, half of a you know what I mean? Like he's capable of that, but you need Kevin Durant to be Kevin Durant with somebody that's going to elevate or awaken. I won't even say awaken because he is who he is at this point, but just uphold him in that aspect of his game. Like for instance, if they got rid of Bradley Beal and brought in OG Anunoby, is that not an improvement? Just mentally thinking about it, wouldn't that improve everybody? Booker and KD. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like suddenly, and it's just like you need to get players that complement him as opposed to being a new owner, because that's what it is, right? It's a new owner, it's new ownership, if I'm not mistaken, for them
Yeah,
in
Matt Ishbia.
the
Yes.
Mercury.
Yeah.
Okay, so
The new
he's
new owner syndrome is what people like to say about him, right? You want to make a big
exactly,
splash. You
and
want to
he's
seem
been
like you're
doing
the
that
you want to seem like you're the shit, the creme de la creme, right?
exactly. So, and he's the owner of the Phoenix Mercury too, isn't he?
Yes.
for the WNBA. So, and we see what's going on with them, even though I think that will work out. I think that will work out just based on what was already there. Like they just needed auxiliary pieces. We'll get to the WNBA episode next, people. Trust, it's
Oh,
coming.
we definitely
But
will.
yeah, we're gonna cover the W. We're not just the men's game, but um having new owner syndrome with an NBA team is like, oh, I have to load up on the superstar talent right now in
Right.
order for us to be able to win. That's what the usual mentality is. And he went out and got Kevin Durant. He went out and got Bradley Beal, and got rid of Monty Williams. Yeah, got rid of DeAndre Ayton, or allowed them to walk based on whoever was making those calls. Um, and then just decided, as long as I got a big three, a scoring big three, that we can win a championship. We'll be capable. But I won't say that the KD curse didn't kick in because it's like ever since the last season of Golden State, Steph got hurt during the season. Clay got hurt at the end. He got hurt at the end. Brooklyn, he got hurt, or he was hurt going into it, until the beginning of it. Kyrie was out there. Kyrie ended up getting hurt later on. And then Kevin, it was like they were alternating. Then when they were all to be able to come together, like with James Harden, Kyrie had to be out for whatever. Kevin Durant had his time out for whatever. James Harden had an attitude, and you know what I mean. Like it's just always
Yeah.
been something. Now with Phoenix, is Bradley Beal's been in and out like crazy. You know what I mean? Like he might as well just sat the whole year. Like let me just get my equilibrium together. You know what I mean? Like let me figure
Does
this
not
out. I
compute.
mean,
Does not
'cause-
compute.
and some players don't understand. Like you have to make sure your whole body is like perfectly aligned with itself. Like if your shoulder over here, because you got a dislocated shoulder over here,
Yeah.
this shoulder is going to compensate for it. So you need to get your body in alignment. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
that's true. You can't have this muscle stronger than this one. You can't because no, I'm
Okay,
being real.
Luke
I'm being
Cage,
like
calm
for real.
yourself.
I mean, if we go that deeply, like a lot of them need to really take that into account. Go call LeBron James. He in the league. You spending up 1.5 million on your body. What you doing, bro? And then go. Seriously, go do it and go figure it out. Like and get yourselves back on the floor. But then we get to the floor product. What were they missing? Like another center outside of Yusuf Nurkic and a better point guard because Devin Booker needs to be able to attack, not initiate in attack or even be the person that you're concerned about at the point of attack. That's why they went and got Chris Paul. That's why Monty Williams at the time when he was there got Chris Paul to get campaign up to some speed that he wasn't at and was looking like he was going to be outside the league. And I'm not going to be the one that forgets that Chris Paul rubbed off on SGA like here, I'm here, just You know what I mean? So here's
Yeah.
SGA.
Corporal
Like
Paul, man. Corporal
you
Paul. He's still one of the better
so
teachers.
he is. I take him in Detroit right now and put Cade at the three. I would.
I've seen so many
Seriously.
photoshops for CP3, man.
Yeah, like I would bring him to Detroit if I could. I would put him over here.
According to the
Put
photoshops, he's basically going to be the point guard for like 30 teams next year.
yeah, you see what he did with the Warriors? He made their
Yeah.
bench work because
Well,
Draymond, we love Draymond. Draymond, I know you got your own podcast. Don't kill us. You can follow us at EMW_pod. East Meets West, a basketball state of being podcast on Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, all that.
that's
Shameless
right.
plug. Um, but like you really need it's only certain players that carry that type of like I can build your team, and it was a Chris Paul, it was a Rondo, and I can't say it's anybody else at this point. You know what I mean? Like everybody,
Yeah.
maybe Brunson is the next in line of that, but he's having to take on so much of the load over there. But it still is his presence alone is still allowing like Josh Hart to play higher, Ananobi to get pick his spots, Mitchell Robinson to be hurt, but then you got Hartenstein and like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a very select few point guards that come with that type of game. Let me shift it back to Phoenix. Blow it up. Just blow it up now before it's too late. Before Kevin Durant either
I
gets
mean,
too old or he drops off by 5 points per game, or Bradley Beal doesn't look like he could drop 27 a game, or Devin Booker doesn't look like he could drop 30 a game. You know what I mean? I would move them all right now for whatever future assets, since you made it clear this next draft is trash.
initially.
So future
So
assets,
for the
bring
record,
in.
listeners,
Mhm.
3 of the Western teams that were eliminated in the playoffs, our solution is to blow it up. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, and you said it, and I didn't even think of it that way. The Rockets will be back. Who's to say the Kings won't be better?
Oh
And
yeah,
then who else did you mention?
Memphis.
Memphis. Like
Memphis.
John Moran got hurt, so that's it. That's
Yeah.
them 3 teams right there. Just Lakers, Suns, whatever. You know what I mean? Like y'all
Well,
out of here.
keep the same energy because we have one more team in the West that was eliminated.
Okay.
And actually, this is a stellar year for the Pacific Division, right?
Okay.
As we have no representation in the second round. The Los Angeles Clippers were eliminated by the Dallas Mavericks. And there's just a laundry list of things that went wrong. But I guess I'll start with my reaction because I'm not even going to make it about a team. I'm actually going to make it about just one person. And he takes a lot of heat, sometimes deservedly so, just because of maybe some of the things he says. I don't think he's a bad person. I think he's actually a really good teammate. It's Paul George. It's Paul George.
Okay.
Like, I say self-awareness goes a long way. I think that is in all walks of life, but especially in professional sports. You know, it got made fun of, like, years back, playoff P, right? Then what was it, pandemic P? Because like he sucked. Now like the podcast P. But one of the things he did say though was he accepted, especially after that injury, right? That bad leg injury, when he was part of Team USA.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not that like he's not a star. He is definitely a star. Maybe he's still a superstar, somewhere in the middle. But I guess all I want to say in my reaction is he takes more heat than I think he deserves. And that's even coming from a fan of a rival team. I say that because he understands that he can definitely elevate a team, but he can't elevate a team by himself. He's one of the one of the big reasons, but he can't be the singular reason. And he knows that. He's admitted that time and again. But he always takes the blame. He always gets mocked. Why? Because he's literally the last man standing. Because his co-pilot is never available.
Sure.
So I don't even care about the Clippers. I don't. F you guys, man. You're my rival.
Yeah.
For Paul George, I'm a fan. I was a big fan of him when he was in Indiana. I'm still a fan now. Even though he wears the wrong colors. All I'm saying is I want him out of there. That's my reaction. It's not for the Clippers, but for Paul George. Your Clippers tenure should be over. Get out of there, right? You showed this year you have absolutely what it takes to win at a high level, right?
Yeah.
Go to a team where you can actually be maximized. Go to a team with guys that you can, right, that you can rely on. It's not about liking each other. I'm sure you like they're friends. I don't know. Like they seem friendly off the court, but at the end of the day, what can you do on the court? And I'm sorry, Kawhi, you're never there. I'm not even going to talk about you. I'm not even going to make fun of him right now. I don't. All I'm saying is that's just my reaction. Get out of there.
Right.
Get out of there.
Get all the way out of there. Like, you done? Because I got something to say about that.
Go for it.
Considering what you've said about Paul George, considering what I've seen from him coming back from that leg injury, getting inserted back into the fold, Larry Bird actually telling him he should play the 4 on his way back, and him being successful in doing it. And I know I'm a homer, but come to Detroit. No, I mean seriously. We have the money. We need someone like that. We need someone who's able to be a two-way player, who's able to be a primary scorer at times, that can make a 3, that can stretch the floor out for what we have already in place. I'm also a fan of Russell Westbrook, since we're talking about the Clippers. And I would love for Russ to be a starting point guard somewhere. I wouldn't mind it being my team too. You know what I mean? Like it's the NBA is more about fit as opposed to you trying to force four damn near starters that are MVP caliber to fit on one team.
Right.
Like that doesn't make damn sense. That means you're top heavy. You know what I mean? And the only
Yeah.
thing that makes you not top heavy is, well, Zubac makes you top heavy. Damn it. And then Norman Powell, you know what I mean? Like then what? Then what after Norman? Then it's like it's just a toss up. Like you need Terrence Mann to show up. And you might be actually stunning his growth. You know what I mean? Like maybe Paul George does
Oh
need to be
yeah.
gone. Maybe Kawhi does need to sit out. Let Terrence Mann go ahead and get ushered into some prominent role with James Harden over there. Take Russ out the equation. Go bring in some other backup point guard that isn't as capable of Russ, that can do some things Russ can't do, but put Russ on a team like the Hornets or the Pistons or somewhere, maybe even the Heat, where he can be himself. You know, like I can run like hell down the court. I got Bam Adebayo or Jalen Duran or Brandon Miller out here running with me to the point where I don't have to try to just go to the rim by myself because Zubac is not athletically capable. I'm sorry. But you got one of those that you could throw a lob to that frees you back up to go finish. I don't know if Russ is getting all the way back up Verdi on his dunks, but he can finish with that layup. You know what I mean? But who does he
Yeah.
have? Who does he have? So, because we seen glimpses of it in LA. Russ with Anthony Davis on the court was fine. As soon as LeBron get back in, it's like, oh, I gotta have the ball, slow it down, go get your ass in the corner. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what Russ been doing. He been in the corner for the Clippers. He no
Yeah.
blow it up. If y'all want to keep Harden, keep him. Y'all want to keep Kawhi, keep him. Keep somebody because y'all about to get a new building. You want to bring money there,
Yeah. That would be the most
so
embarrassing thing, right? You open
they're in a
like
conundrum.
a great stadium and then or arena, and
Yeah,
you got
and
like a G
don't.
League team there.
Yeah, that would suck. Even though Balmer got the bread for it, he's like super duper wealthy. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's not like it would hurt him. It's not like he wouldn't be able to create the amenities and the like the workout pro or like the workout facilities and
Well,
everything, locker rooms and all of that stuff. Like it's gonna be beautiful. But
we'll talk about
who
it
is
on.
are you gonna go
Oh
ahead.
no, I was just gonna say. Well, yeah, we'll talk about it on the WNBA
Yeah.
episode. But I
Yeah,
mean,
because that's
with
what they're going through.
upcoming expansion, who knows? Right? Maybe you can put one in that new stadium. You know?
Ooh, well, that'll be three California teams, kind of like the league, kind of. Even though the league got four.
Yeah. So, what's your point, man?
My
Anyway,
point
no,
is,
that's a discussion for another day.
bring back the Detroit Shock.
That's right.
I'm such a homer. Forgive me, y'all, on the East meets West.
No, it's
I'm gonna
good.
stop being such a homer. Um,
It makes the fans wonder, right? Who's East and who's West?
Yeah,
So,
but I mean, like, imagine Paul George in like Miami or something like that. But just to put a close to my overreaction on them, and yeah, I'm blowing them up too because they're another team. I mean, I am because how much longer do you got James Harden at this level? He's like doing this. Is little by little, and then the more he has Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, and if he got a girlfriend or a wife, Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, and he over there just, oh yeah, and then chicken wings, and I call him chicken wing, champagne chicken wing James for a reason, because when the holidays come,
you call him
he
that. I don't call him
comes
that.
back. Yes, I do call him that. James Harden, look, you a boss because you balling in the league and I'm not. That's cool. I'm just saying though, if I had your position, you are the key to a lot of this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they weren't able to stop him in two of those games. They weren't. Imagine that's the whole series.
Yeah.
So it's just like move them all too, or keep one. And I guess if you got to keep somebody, keep Kawhi. He's the true homer, even though Russ and Paul George are too. But I mean, I keep Kawhi just to see if he can turn up. Let
Well, I
Terrence
mean, they
Mann
gave him the
show up.
extension already. They
Yeah,
gave him the
so
extension already. So I think
exactly.
he's staying
So
for the most part.
yeah, he
Like
is. He is the one staying. So keep him.
that's why my
Let
point is
put
Paul
him.
George, he has the choice, right?
Yeah.
Like he's the one that's going to become the free agent. So or like he can become a free agent, right? He can opt out.
Yep.
That's my point.
And Detroit got
But
money. And who else? Who else has like high cap? Is it Orlando? Um,
Yeah, they have a lot of cap space. I think
yeah, like
40 million can create up to 60.
it's a
So
few things, and I think Detroit has 60 already, and it might be like the Hornets. I forget who else got cap, but it's teams with cap that can use a Paul George, and he comes in. He's arguably the number one option, or they got a really good young player over there that's like a Tyrese Maxey to a Joel Embiid. Just take yourself
yeah,
over there, go get y'all some time in. It might take another year, if not a training camp, a summer. If you're going to make an early decision, go ahead and build some chemistry, go on and try to hurry up. And once y'all get on the floor against other NBA talent, you can figure it out in 20, 30 games and then start to develop. Okay, this is how we're going to, this is our ecosystem, what fits around us. You know,
yeah.
like Tyrese and Embiid, like uh what's the other twosomes that just turned up this year? Luca and Kyrie after the deal, you know what I mean? Or what's another twosome? Because it really only takes two. You know what I mean? It takes two,
I
and
mean,
then you
it's.
build.
I think it's just becoming increasingly harder to
Yeah,
have a well-rounded team
it is.
if you're going to have three max stars.
Yeah, you
I
won't have
think
one.
right now, just cap wise, it seems like the formula is at most two
Yeah,
stars on max
yeah.
deals, and then you have to have like maximize those mid-level exceptions and maximize the vet mins in your draft picks.
hmm And then how many PJ Browns and Leon Poes and
No,
James
but I mean, like,
Posies and Chris Andersons and Ray Allens for the Miami Heat, and who else played for them? Was it Joel Anthony? And
okay, well, I
and
mean, yeah,
like, how many of those people do we got in the world? Like in the NBA on like within the NBA ecosystem nowadays that
yeah,
are like specialists that actually bring some of the Mike Millers, the how many of those do we have now when everybody is wanting, they want you to be, oh, you can't just be a specialist, you can't just be this, and then you can't just be your best version of yourself when it's time for us to show up. You be 100% of a 3-point shooter as opposed to, oh, I need to shoot 50 from the field, 40 from the three, and I need you to be able to dribble, pass, and shoot instead of just shoot. But you got LeBron James on your damn team and Dwayne Wade. You know what I mean? Like we're getting away from the formula. Like
yeah,
Jordan won with teams with specialists. Uh, if we go back, the Pistons won the teams with specialists. The Celtics won the teams with specialists. Magic won with a lot of talent.
yeah.
But some of them like dumbed it down to being certain specialists. As we go forward, the Spurs won with specialists. Bruce Bowen, anyone? Sean Elliott, anyone? Mario Ellie, anyone? Um, who's one after that? The LA Lakers, the three-peat Lakers. They had the Robert Ory's of the world. They had the Derek Fishers of the world. Kobe had, uh, I
Excuse
mean,
me.
like dumbed down levels of our test. Um,
No,
that turned in,
rewind,
yeah,
rewind,
yeah.
rewind,
Oh, we skipped.
rewind.
I mean, I'm talking about the teams that
My
won
favorite role
multiples.
player of the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, Rick Fox, Foxy
The
himself.
Rick Foxes of the world, because he was a scoring punch. Like, yeah, you shut them out. Let's not forget Glenn Rice then while we at it.
Oh
Um,
yeah, Ron
because
Harper.
he was amazing. Ron Harper again, and for the
Well,
Bulls too. I mean, but you get where I'm going. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, and then I already mentioned the Celtics and the Heat, and then we could talk about the Spurs that just was like crazy against the Miami Heat. They had specialists. It was Danny Green. It was Patty Mills. Kawhi was doing his thing on defense. Tony Parker was pitching in. Tim Duncan was still good, but he was more of a defender at that time. Like, it's all been specialists. We go to the Warriors. You got Draymond as your defensive focal point. You got Klay Thompson as a shooter, Steph Curry as a shooter, David Lee as a rebound hustle guy. Like what the league is trying to turn everybody into everything, and that's part of the problem too. So now GMs are looking to have 10 players on the roster that can all do that stuff instead of them fitting in with one or two players, one that's starting, two that's on the bench, but the one that's starting is prominent at having you in the lineup with him, and then the other two you just sit like we see what the
yeah.
championships are. Just
I
think
mean,
about what happened with Denver last year. That's why they won. Like
yeah,
it's only one Jokic, it's one Jamal Murray, it's only one Bruce Brown, but he's gone, You know what I mean?
It's that
Which
fine line.
activated.
It's that fine line. I mean, of course, I think we're all big proponents of versatility,
Yeah,
right? It's just as these teams that were getting eliminated, it's like, okay, you do a lot of things, but you don't do anything particularly well. And that is,
right.
like you said, that's what's getting lost, right? At the
Yeah,
very, and that's what I mean. It's a preference, but like for my role players, like if you do something really well, then you have a place on my. At least that's for me. If I were building a team, right? That's assuming though. That's assuming your star players are coming through and doing the heavy lifting. But a lot of these
it is.
teams, their stars did not come through for various reasons. You
That's
know,
true.
whatever it
Yeah,
was. But I think,
mostly injury.
well, we put a close here
Yeah,
on
on the West.
the Western, yeah,
Yeah,
the
I'm sorry.
Western.
I've been
No, no,
dragging
no.
it.
We'll put a close here, and say, well, according to Michael, we're taking a torch to basically every team that lost in the West.
Yeah,
But frankly, to a certain extent, even the ones that got eliminated in the play-in, I think there's a case to be made that some of those rosters have to be toasted a little bit.
yeah, yeah.
But for the winners, though, for the winners, we have the Denver Nuggets versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. And at the time of this recording, Minnesota is up 2-0 in that series. And then in
Mhm.
the other series, it's the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Dallas Mavericks. The Thunder won their first game, so they lead that game 1-0. Um,
Mm.
so obviously we've had a little time to see how these teams are matching up, but just fine right now. Who are your picks for the winners? Who are going to advance to the Western Conference Finals? And in how many games? And it's fine that we've already seen.
Unless Kyrie goes nuclear, and I'm talking about like Cleveland Cavs with LeBron, hey, him and LeBron, and then the supporting cast, kind of like what him and Luca have. They're gonna go down in 5 games because Luca will have one good game, but some of the stuff that he does, I think they have enough defense to kind of deter him, whether it's Jalen Williams or it's Lou Dort or it's Chet waiting for him at the rim, where he has to go bait and then kick out. You know what I mean? Which is kind of what we were seeing outside of him. I seen him on a block a few times, and I was like, Luke on a block, like, oh, he doing it to that type of efficient. Like it was like switch. You know what I mean? And I'm used to Luca. Oh yeah, you don't know how slow, how fast I'm gonna go. I'm Paul George and I'm Ray Frost, and oh yeah, and then you you know what I mean? It's like you never know when he's going up, but he looks a step slower, and yes, it's because of his knee. So if Kyrie is not capable of actually being the Kyrie that we've seen before, which I think he is, but he just seems to defer. I'm sorry. At the beginning of the games, he wants to get the team going first now instead of, oh, I'm Kyrie. I'm about to just drop 20 in this first quarter right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I think he's still capable of it. I don't know if he has the win for it, but I haven't really seen him tired per se. You know what I mean? But that's not to say that OKC isn't scheming correctly against him as well, because the same defense on Luca, same defense on Kyrie, even though he is more surgical and acrobatic and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean that is he's gonna make them all. You know what I mean? In a playoff where you're being scouted. So um, I'm gonna go OKC in 5. I'm sorry I slept on him in the first time, but if Kyrie could wake up, we might see a 6 or 7 game series. And if it goes 7, I don't know, but 6 it will still be OKC. So OKC in 5 or 6, but if it goes 7, I mean, and that's of course a toss up. Game sevens are a toss up. So OKC in 5 or 6. I'll just say that.
I'm
OKC in
gonna go
5, no
with
less than 6. Uh-oh. He thinking about it extra hard.
I actually had an answer, and right as I was about to say it, I was like, wait a minute. It's always fun to be able to make fun of myself. I am going to go with Dallas in 6. I'm going to go with the Mavs in 6. I think there's a way if we watch the game film and we can, go through it, there's a way. There's a difference between a pin down and a pin in, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
they use, right, it, right? But for our
Yeah.
listeners, right, a pin in is where, like, if you're coming back in transition, right, a guy who thinks that they're going to like try to get to their spot in the mid range is actually fooling you, and it's trying to set a screen so that a trail 3-point shooter can basically have open space to shoot a
Open
three.
shot.
SGA is fantastic at doing pin ins for Chet. Now,
Right.
right?
Oh.
If you pick up SGA half court, then we can eliminate those, right? And
Okay.
yeah, sure, he still could potentially have like a stepping, like walk into a three, but at least, right, take your chances one on one. I don't know how much I truly believe this, even though I'm trying to make a case for it, but I think though, like Dallas has the size to at
They
least
do.
neutralize Chet. And if you can I still again, SGA as of today, he is officially the runner-up for MVP, very deserving. You
Yeah.
know, again, he is the MVP or the MVP of the Thunder. I
Right.
still believe that Chet is just what makes it go, what gives him that extra pop. And if you can take him out, like neutralize him,
Right.
right? You can cut the court in half, right? Whenever he's taken out of the picture,
Mhm.
you give yourself a shot. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how much I believe that now that I just said it out loud. But that would just be even plan. I think they can because, like you said, I mean, Kyrie has to be Kyrie.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Max
that's it.
level Kyrie. Max
That's
level
it.
Kyrie.
And let's go very quickly. Seeing as they're already down 0-2, right? The Nuggets, that is.
Yeah.
It's okay, right? What from here on out? What's your prediction? What's your prediction then for this series?
Man,
I know, right? It's a tall task.
if that
Denver would have to win
defense
4 of the last
is
5.
what it is from Minnesota, I don't know with Jamal Murray being hobbled that they have anything. I don't if they play that defense the way they played, what was that, yesterday's game? Man, I know I've been hearing this on everybody's podcast, on everybody's TV, TNT, clips from ESPN, XM radio, everybody. It's just like, oh, the defense that I've seen, I haven't seen, and I don't know that I've seen that kind of defense in this era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even then in the past, it was allowed to be more physical where you had to physically like be imposing against your defender. This is like they're just lengthy as hell. You know what I mean? Like and able to just get into you, be in your face. And when I say I just got done playing pickup with my coworkers, and I'll admit we lost. And you know why we lost? Because I'm not as big as I used to be. I used to be like 260. You know what I'm saying? And I was like 207 at the time. I'm still lengthy and long and all of that, but I'm not as imposing as I used to be. And they were some big dudes, and they were taller, they were longer. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And when you're playing people that are that imposing, it's it's just tough, bro. And not to say that they big, just big like a pickup game. They big like we in the weight room big every day. You know what I mean? We strong for real. So good luck, especially when okay, so if Aaron Gordon is being allowed to be kept open and Michael Porter isn't doing, if anything, this series is on Michael Porter. Michael Porter has to turn into who I thought he can be, a KD light before. He needs to turn into that right now, or
Yeah.
this series is over. Like I'm not gonna say, oh, Aaron Gordon, go ahead and shoot all the threes that you can. Go ahead, because you haven't been known as nothing like that until you had Jokic on your team. And if Jokic is he's getting forced to throw 20 turnovers over the last 3 games, even though one of those games weren't yours. Like, what you mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's coming from 2 of these games. So if they're flustering your facilitator and Jamal Murray is getting, what did he go? 0 for 11 to start, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm watching this like Jamal Murray. Oh, I'm like, wait, what? Huh? He didn't make a shot yet, and then he finally like made one, and I'm just like, whoa, like this is why this is happening. No Rudy Gobert, like so I don't want to sleep on Denver because as soon as they turn it on, they can just turn you off. You know what I mean? But the confidence that Minnesota is playing with, I love Anthony Edwards because the team, Carl Anthony Towns got hurt. Rudy Gobert had some things come up too as well, but then he ended up getting left with Anthony Edwards, and it's like it was a transition of power, and it was allowed. Whereas certain players don't say, "Oh, well, I'm gonna just let you have your time or your
Yeah.
play or your style get implemented on the team more than mine, and so we can fit better." Carl Anthony Towns did that. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna just say this: shout out to Carl Anthony Towns because it's not a lot of players that put their ego to the side, put their pride to the side, and want the best for the team, which is ultimately if you win the championship this year, y'all gonna be seen as one of the best teams ever to just come out of nowhere, beat the
Okay.
champions, and your name is never gonna be removed from the list of those people that's on that championship roster.
No asterisk. Right.
No asterisk. So you know how many players are gonna do that? Like it's not a lot of players gonna put their pride aside. So I'm I really don't want to disrespect Denver. I don't. But I had my last little left field thinking that OKC wasn't gonna win last series. I'm gonna go on a whim and say I'm gonna say Minnesota in at the most six because they
Okay.
went in Denver. They went mile high and won.
Yeah.
And Denver looked winded as well. I hope people were paying
Yeah.
attention to that. They looked winded,
Yeah.
frustrated, winded, flustered. Um, what does Steph Curry do? Devastated. Um, seriously, like they just look like what the hell can we do? And if you couldn't do that on your own elevation, and they were dealing with that elevation, and that's your elevation that you practice in, then what do you think they're going to be capable of when they have that much more extra wind to be able to really get up and down on you, to really be able to scatter around? Like, man,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Wolves. Let me give Denver more respect. Wolves in seven. Wolves in seven.
Wow. No.
No,
I mean, if it gets to 7, I understand what you're doing, but I
if it
think if
gets
it
to
gets to
seven,
7, then then I would pick the Nuggets.
then
Is
you
what I'm
will pick
saying.
Denver.
So
Yeah, that's just out of
I'm
respect.
actually
I'm
gonna go. No,
Wolves in
I
six, but
largely, I think I largely agree with
seven.
your logic, but because
Yeah,
of your logic, I would say Timberwolves in 6. I do
yeah,
think there are a couple adjustments specifically on how they could utilize Aaron Gordon defending Anthony Edwards.
yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
and really, oh yeah, I think they got to switch up their defensive assignments, and it is
Okay.
risky, but at this point, you're in an
It
0-2
is.
hole. Like
Yeah,
you just have to, you know.
yeah.
So I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna say Minnesota in 6. Let's see. Yeah, I think Denver
Okay.
does have some fight. They have the pride, but I think it's just, yeah, I think it's a tall task. It's a tall task to win 4 of the last 5. I'm not saying they can't. I just the way, like you said, the way Minnesota's playing, they're executing, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and that is leading to belief. Belief bleeds into confidence, et cetera, et cetera. It's a perpetual cycle. So
Right.
I would expect those. Yeah, yeah. We will see. We will see.
Yeah, we will.
Well, I think we'll put an end on this segment, and we will return with the Eastern Conference first round
Yeah. Yeah.
reactions and overreactions. There'll be a part 2 to this episode.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
why
Yeah.
don't you
So
send us off, Michael? Tell the people where they can
and
find us.
yes, you can find us at EMW underscore pod superstar mankind. Hold on, let me point the right direction. This dang iPad ain't this is left and this is right, but it's showing up as
Yeah.
opposite. You can find us at EMW underscore pod on Twitter. X, if that's what you call it, whatever. It's still Twitter, Bluebird to me,
Yeah.
even though they just forced me to upgrade because my phone, I literally just upgraded from Twitter
Oh
last
my
week.
god.
Yeah, because my phone was like, oh, you're scrolling, kicked you out. Oh, you're looking at a message, kicked you out. Oh, you're quote tweeting, kick you out. Like it kept doing it. So I'm like upgrading. It's been working like a brand new damn near 2025 iMac or something like that. But um, you can also find us at East Meets West. It is a basketball state of being podcast on YouTube, on Spotify, on our Heart Radio. Make sure you look for it. It's a beautiful logo. You can't miss us. You can't miss us. You can't do that.
All done
Um,
by Michael. All done by Michael.
hey, no,
Yeah.
but don't let this man sleep. Don't let him make you sleep because he's the superstar that's been luring you
No,
all
I'm just
in
gonna say
to
something
listen
dumb to
to
make
our
you laugh.
greatness.
That's all.
But yes, check us out and just be on the lookout because we about to start coming. You know what I mean? Like you ready for the hook? So yes,
Got
look out for the
a lot
Eastern
of fun content
Conference.
on the horizon.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's gonna be more than ball. It's gonna be more than men's ball. It's gonna be women's ball. It's gonna be comics, just all types of stuff. So just be on the lookout, man.
Yep. Take care.